So today we're going to be looking at two draw bias players in Billy Horschel and Tommy Fleetwood, and similarities in what they do which make them hit the draw shape that they quite consistently create. So first things first, at setup, we would see these players have a shoulder tilt which is a little bit more tilted than what a fade price player would be. This encourages a club path to move a little bit more from in to out, and a release which would look to encourage that draw pattern. Number two, on the way down, I've drawn a line here through the golf ball, and what we'll see is draw players will never allow their centre of mass to pass the golf ball. The centre of mass will always be a fraction behind the golf ball. Kind of looking at the head here as a reference point. So this will allow time for the golf club to look to release a little bit more versus the fade player, who would be a little bit more lenient to seeing the head a little bit more to the right of this line, so a little bit more ahead of the golf ball. So by keeping the head behind, centre of mass behind, the club head has more time to release, and again that ties in with that draw pattern that these players like to see. And number three would be the shallowing in transition that these players create. So the way they initiate their downswing, the golf will look to pitch behind them a bit more. So we can see there Billy Horschel, the club head looks to work behind the player a little bit more. The shaft sits under the shoulder head much more than a fade player might would. As we see the same here with Fleetwood as well, so it's a little bit more apparent visually with Fleetwood. Again, shaft pitches behind, club sits under the shoulder head quite nicely, and from there they can move on to it and release the golf club to create that draw pattern again that they both like to see.